Check.
Check, check, check.
Check.
Check, check, check. Well, good evening and welcome to Alterowitz Gym. It's been far too long, but Yellow Jacket basketball is finally back. It's been north of 300 days since the last outing for the Yellow Jacket women's basketball team, and tonight they become the first MSUB athletic program to compete during this very strange and difficult 2020 to 21 academic year. Evan O'Kelly with you live from Alterowitz Gym, and I'm joined tonight by a recent alum of the program. Jean Ann Lemlin is on the call with us. And Jean Ann, well, the last game that was played, well, you were a player. What's it feel like sitting here now and after everything that's gone on the last 11 months?
Yeah, it is super weird. I actually was just looking at Lewis and Clark warm up and thinking how strange it is that I don't know a scouting report on each of their players because, like you said, the last time I was in this gym, I was on the court. And so, yeah, it's definitely been a very weird time. We finished up our season right as COVID was kind of taking off, and it almost was a blessing in disguise that we ended our season when we did. And you know, I I think about these guys every day and how hard it would be to be a student athlete during this time because every day is a mystery. You never know if you're going to get a practice, if you're going to have a game, if you're even going to be allowed on the court with one another. So I think that this is a super special moment that'll go down in history at MSUB because, like you said, it's so strange this year. But I'm really proud of these guys for sticking it out and getting ready to compete.
Yeah, that's right. Not a lot guaranteed right now. No fans allowed in attendance. Players have to deal with the weekly testing protocols just to play. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're playing a game tonight, and I think everybody involved will take it. So we're just about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes away from action. We look at this matchup here, Jean Ann, and really this is about playing for the Yellow Jackets. Lewis Clark State, a very potent NAIA program. They come in with a 6-3 record, so they've already got 9 games under their belt. As we mentioned, this is the first one for MSUB. So, we talked a little with Coach Wooden before the game, and I think more so than any other season, he's not going to be concerned as much with the win than loss as he is with getting these games under their belts and then actually playing, getting to grow as the season progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a victory in itself that they were even able to have a game this season because, as each game kept getting pushed back, it was supposed to happen at the end of December, then in January, and now, finally towards the end of January, they're able to play, and I definitely think that they're not going to take that for granted, and they're probably just excited to play against somebody besides themselves finally.
Yeah, it's been a lot of scrimmaging and a lot of practicing, a whole lot of practicing dating back to October. All right, we're just about a minute away from national anthem and starting lineups. We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to have hoops action for you live on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. we get set for action here at Alterowitz Gym. Well, we're about to get a taste of a very youthful Yellow Jacket lineup, Jean-Ann. No seniors on the team. Of course, Taryn Shelley, a fourth-year college player, but only a junior eligibility-wise. She's really emerged as the leader, both, you know, in her performance on the court, but as a leader on the team as well, for a mentor for the younger players. What was it like playing with her, and from your perspective, talk about the growth she's had during her career?
Yeah, Taryn is so fun to play with. She's obviously a monster on the court, and she's just an overall great person. She's so kind and funny, and just loves bringing up the morale of the team. But she definitely has stepped up into that leadership role for this team. And like you said, there's no seniors, but she really has had to encompass that this season, and it's difficult because it's not like any other season, and so she's definitely had to kind of pave the way for how it's going to go. So I really admire how hard she's worked and how she's been able to get her teammates to work really hard and follow along in those footsteps. So I'm excited to see how they follow her tonight.
So Taryn Shelley, the lone player in the starting lineup who has started a game for the Yellow Jackets tonight. Addison Gardner is a third-year player for MSUB. She's making her first collegiate start tonight. And then it's three newcomers. It's the junior transfers, Skylar Patton and Carrie Ann Kunkel, and the freshman newcomer, Courtney Nelson. So we'll see a lot of firsts tonight. Would expect everybody on the bench to get plenty of playing time, and expect Coach Wooden to experiment with some different lineups and combinations. This is his first look. You got to remember, at his team in action too. Of course, he's been at practice every day the last 5-6 months, but this is his first look at how they're going to play in a game.
Right, and with that, these guys haven't had this whole entire time to practice with every single player on the court at a time, whether people have been contact traced or the whole entire team has had to quarantine, or that the NCAA, the GNAC, or MSUB have required them to practice in smaller pods. So they've really only had a true couple handful of practices where they've been able to see all players healthy and able to play against one another. So like you said, this is honestly a true test. I see that Shayla Montague, a starter from last year, is on the bench with an ankle injury, it looks like. So that's too bad that she won't get a little taste of some game action tonight.
And we're underway at Alterowitz Gym. For LC State, it's Jansen Edmiston, Abby Johnson, Kiara Berlagi, Peyton Souvenir, and Abby Farmer in the starting lineup as they get off to a quick 2-0 lead. We apologize, no scoreboard on your live stream tonight, but we'll do a good job of keeping you updated on the score at all times. Additionally, live stats for the game are available through MSUBsports.com. So you can pull up that live stat feed and watch it right along with your live stream tonight. Early turnover there from Carrie Ann Kunkel. Remember, keep your eye on both her wearing the 15 jersey and then Skylar Patton wearing the number 2 jersey. Jean-Ann, those are two junior transfers, so they haven't played yet for MSUB, but they do bring some good collegiate experience to the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them coming from strong JUCO programs and fitting in nicely with the Yellow Jackets. Might want to check the floor over there for some water. Courtney Nelson stepping and taking a hard fall. Unfortunate turnover there, but not really much you can do. But yeah, back to Carrie Ann and Skylar, both strong players and seeming to find their roles on this MSUB squad nicely.
So LC State, we would expect to see them moving around pretty well and getting into their sets and running their plays like a team that's played 9 games, because they have. And a long three on the way off the front of the rim, and there's Gardner to get the rebound. Addison has worked her way into earning this start, worked hard over the last 2 years, and she gets the nod in the opening game of the season.
Yeah, AJ has worked really hard the past 2 years. Last year she was a huge spark for us, would come in and knocked down a three, and was kind of that sneak attack that other teams didn't know about. So it's really nice to see her earning that starting position tonight.
Well, that's Berlagi going up for the layup. She is fouled, and she's the top scorer for this Warriors team through her first 9 games of the season, averaging 17 points and shooting 48% from the floor. You can see the size there certainly helping under the basket, and she's also chipping in 5 rebounds per game, so she'll be one to keep our eye on tonight.
Yeah, and she seems to be, for her size, very quick to get up and down the court. She's running the floor very nice, and looking to transition on the Yellow Jackets.
Nothing new for LC State. They've used this starting lineup in all 9 of their games, make it 10 if you count tonight so far this year. So this is pretty much their starting lineup. This is what they stick to, and that's what they've done all season long. As you see, Danielle Zahn now into the game for the first time. And Jackets, as you might expect, looking a little bit rusty, taking care of the ball here early. It's just so different, and you can attest to this. What you run in practice versus you get into game speed and some of these transition plays, protecting the ball, it just takes you a second as a player to sort of get caught up to speed there.
Yeah, and these people are different than the people you play against in practice. You might not be used to this pressure, the length of their arms, or their quickness, and so it's definitely something that MSUB is going to have to adjust to, and they will as the game goes on, as they are more likely to become aware of who they're playing against.
Nice job by Nelson to hustle for that rebound, and the Jackets have their first bucket. Give Courtney Nelson a hustle star there. She got the board and was quick to pick out Taryn Shelley, who was under the basket for the easy lay-in. So a slow start to this one. It's just 2-2. We're about 3 minutes into the first quarter here at Alterowitz Gym. Slow start for both teams, and this LC State team, as we mentioned, they have a 6-3 record overall. They're coming off a split last weekend against Seattle Pacific. So if anything of a barometer, it helps to see them have played a Great Northwest Athletic Conference opponent for these Jackets in SPU. Usually a team that stacks up pretty well with MSUB. I think, Jean-Ann, in your career, that was always a good game and a fairly even series. So to see LC State split at Seattle Pacific kind of gives you a sense that this would be a tight game.
Yeah, absolutely. SPU always has a good program, and I completely agree that they are very similar squads, and I think as we've seen the play right now, that the 2 teams on the floor tonight match up very well too.
Zahn now running the point. The other 4 are the starters for the Yellow Jackets. Gardner with the pull-up, and it's too strong. Edmiston on the rebound, and now it's Johnson driving. Tried the right-handed layup, and Shelley with the rebound. So we'll see if fatigue becomes an issue in this game. Nice find there from Gardner to Kunkel underneath, and the Jackets have an early lead. That's another thing you worry about. You can condition all you want, and the Jackets have been doing a lot of it. You'd expect them to be in good shape, but there's just nothing that can simulate 40 minutes of hard running and game action.
Yeah, we used to always say you can never actually be in basketball shape. It doesn't matter what you do in the off season. You can help yourself get in better shape, but there's no true basketball shape.
3 new faces now on the court for the Yellow Jackets. Shannon Rainey to take it out. Patton's back in, and Callie Gulick making her first appearance of the evening. So now the Jackets with what, at least on paper, are their 2 point guards, Patton and Zahn. It looks like Zahn's going to slide over and play the 2 for a little bit. So interesting to see how those 2 will play on the court together. Figure to split time at the point or be used in this type of situation, one playing the 1 and the other at the 2.
And I think that's super beneficial for MSUB to be able to have somebody on the wing that has experience at the point guard. We run a lot of our offense through the wing, and so to have somebody comfortable with the ball in their hands is super nice. Is super nice to have both of them, and just transition-wise, getting that rebound and being able to run.
And you played both of those positions throughout your career, and you got to see Danielle Zahn come in last year as a freshman and sort of take ownership of that point guard a little bit and mentor her in that position too. Talk about, you know, her starting as a freshman a decent amount of games last year. She played in all 30, got 9 starts, and was really able to get some valuable minutes.
Yeah, about halfway through our season, we had, you know, kind of a good clump of injuries all happen at the same time. And so we really relied on some of our freshmen to step up. And last year I was more comfortable at the 2 position, and that's where I wanted to be, was on the wing. And so it was really nice to have Danny step up and want to be the point guard and want to have the ball in her hands. And it was definitely a learning experience. And I think that she grew so much last year. And I think that that is going to help her tremendously throughout the rest of her career because of how she had to just step up so quickly as a freshman.
You're hearing the voice of Jean Ann Lemlin, the senior a season ago who spent 4 years in the Yellow Jacket program. Boy, you know this playbook probably better than some of the freshmen on the team. So it must be kind of fun for you sitting up here and getting this new perspective.
Yeah, you know, I'm super excited that I was able to come to the game with, you know, no spectators. I was pretty bummed about that, so thanks for having me. But it definitely is different, but you know, I'm excited to see my previous teammates out here, and you know, I hope to just watch them succeed.
All right, 4:40 to go here in the first quarter. Slow start. Your score is 4-2. Yellow Jackets in the lead. For LC State, Sarah Muehlhausen is into the game, as is Maddie Holmes. So first appearance for those two tonight. And Burlage is going to get called for the extra step there. So the Yellow Jackets, they're holding their own. Neither team really lighting it up offensively to this point, but MSUB sort of overcame those early. I think they had 2 or 3 turnovers in the first couple minutes, and now they're starting to get into their groove a little bit. There's Zahn on the jumper off the back iron, and Callie Gulick on the rebound. Gardner tries to get it to Rain. He nearly turns it over, but the Jackets hang on. 12 to shoot now. Zahn looking for a pass, but good defense there from Burlage. Gardner's going to have to let it fly from deep and off the glass and in. Gardner banks one in, and the Jackets now with a 7-2 lead.
Hey, they all look the same in the stat book.
That's right. She'll take those 3 points, that's for sure. You saw the heads-up play there from Skylar Patton, sort of a play that comes with experience. This time she gets called for the foul a little too aggressive, but the point is she was able to read that quick outlet pass and prevent it from happening there.
Yeah, you know, in another situation that could be causing, you know, a player to travel, just having your presence there. So it's a risk, but a lot of the time, you know, the reward is worth that risk.
Deani Boyce now into the game for the Yellow Jackets. She's in the number 30 jersey. Will play in tandem with Shelley and Gulick underneath, so bigger lineup now for the Yellow Jackets with Zahn, Gardner, Gulick, Shelley, and Deani Boyce, the true freshman, getting her first collegiate experience. Shelley blocked underneath there. Nice job from, I think it was Sarah Muehlhausen on the denial that time. Good physical game. The referee's not calling a lot of ticky-tacky fouls. They're letting them play a little bit, and that's always good to see as well. Nice corner jumper there from Gulick, and the Yellow Jackets, after falling behind 2-0, they've scored the last 9 points. They've got all the momentum here as we move under the 3-minute mark here in the opening quarter. Mid-range jumper is good, and that breaks the dry spell there. Abby Johnson had been 0 for 4 from the field up to that point. Nine to 4 your score. Boyce to Gulick to Shelley, and that's easy money. The 3 bigs combining to go from the top of the key there. Souvenirs 3 won't go. Quick putback attempt, and that went off the mark from Edmiston. 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. 11-4 is the Yellow Jackets lead. Zahn taking it up hard. A little bit of contact, but not enough for a foul, and we're going the other direction. And LC State screaming for an and one, but Johnson will settle for the 2, and that makes the score 11-6. Shelley double teamed underneath, and now the foul finally called. Well, we mentioned just a moment ago they're really letting them play, but that was a lot of contact at that time underneath.
Yeah, and you can see that Taryn, had that sigh of relief once that whistle went off, and I think she might have said finally. So you can definitely see that there's a lot of physicality down in the post, and both teams playing a zone right now, and they're packing it in the paint offensively, and so it'll be interesting to see if any teams get hot from the outside or if they just continue to let their bigs go at it.
So Shelley capitalizes on the free throws. Slow start for LC State. They're just 3 for 13 from the field to start this contest. For the Yellow Jackets, Marie 5, another true freshman. She's making her collegiate debut. She's checked into the game, wearing number 43 underneath. Carrie Ann Kunkel back in as well. Long 3 that time, and a good hit there. That's Abby Farmer, her first bucket of the game. That pulls the spread down to 4 points. It's 13-9. Under a minute to go here in the opening quarter. Patton likes the 3 on the way, and it's off to the left, but there's another offensive board from Callie Gulick. She's already had a couple in the opening quarter. So the Jackets letting it fly a bit from 3. We got to hustle back. LC State playing with some good tempo here. Farmer will slow it down, and looks like they want to hold for what'll be close to the last shot. I think they can run it all the way down. Nice take that time. Instead, it's Heidi Selman fresh into the game. Zahn's going to have to hurl up a buzzer beater attempt, and it nearly rattles in from the top of the arc. But instead, we will hit the end of the first quarter with your score at 13-11. Yellow Jackets with a good first 10 minutes. We'll take a quick break. You're tuned into MSUB Women's Basketball Live on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. So after one period, 13-11 your score, and now you see on the live stats that's updated for you. So we should be all square there. Johnson with 4 points in the opening quarter for LC State. Meanwhile, for the Yellow Jackets, Shelley was the big contributor with 6. Some good press there from LC State trying to trap Patton, and she just is able to get it across under the 10-second mark.
Nice pass.
That's the consequence of pressing there. If you can break it, that's a pretty easy bucket for Taryn Shelley, Jean-Ann.
Yeah, that's a very nice pass there from Carrie Ann in that high post, leading Taryn right to the basket. You can't ask for better post play.
That's right, and when Taryn gets the ball in that situation, there's not a player in our league, and I'd venture to guess in D2 that's going to be able to stop her. That's as easy a bucket as she's going to get. Farmer whistled for the foul, and Edmiston's going to check back into the lineup. Farmer, Edmiston, Johnson, and it looks like, yeah, Rachel Schrader is into the game, and Selman. So that's your starting lineup. Burlage out, and she hasn't picked up any fouls yet. So remember, she's the leading scorer, but just 2 points in her first 6 minutes. So a little bit of an extended break for her. Meanwhile, LC State snagging its first lead since it was 2-0. They're up 16-15 now. So they've come out hot. Shannon Rainey will try the 3 off the mark. And the Warriors come away with the rebound. Schrader now getting a chance to run the point. And she'll hand off to Edmiston. And that's Selman fighting for the offensive rebound, but her putback wouldn't go. Now Patton gets trapped, and it'll be a timeout for the Yellow Jackets. Well, it was a horrible lull for LC State there in the middle part of the opening quarter. They missed, I think, 10 shots in a row, but now they've found some offense, and they've come back to take the lead.
Yeah, they're definitely heating up right now, and you know, this game has been of runs. It was a 9-2 run for MSUB, and then now you can see that LC State has kind of come back on a run at the beginning of this second quarter. So it'll be interesting if you know, that continues throughout the game, or if each team, you know, really decides to lock down on defense, or you know, not allow just continuous runs by the other team.
Yeah, and you might expect in the first game of the season for MSUB, at least, by maybe the third, fourth quarter, some of the shots be tough to go down. Legs get a little heavy after, you know, the stress of an entire contest. But they're keeping pace for now and doing a nice job early on. I don't think Coach Wooden will be that happy with how they started the second period, but a quick little 30-second timeout. Not that he was necessarily planning to take it, but maybe a good chance to sort of hit the reset button here and try and get the offense going. And speaking of heavy legs, boy, these teams will be at it tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's a quick turnaround. That's a quick turnaround if you're, you know, 20 games into your season, let alone just starting off. So they'll sleep well tonight, I'm sure, after this game, and then we'll be right back at it at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, normally in a GNAC contest, you know, we would play on Thursdays and Saturdays to give us that Friday to kind of regroup. Granted, you know, we were playing a different team on that Saturday than we did on Thursday, so we would use, you know, Friday for scouting and, you know, a little bit of rest, but, you know, trying to reset our brains. And so it's nice that they're going to be playing the same team, you know, same scouting report, but like you said, yeah, that's tough for any athlete to have to come back not even 24 hours later.
So the Warriors get a stop on the possession coming out of the timeout. They've got a chance to build on their 1-point lead. Nice hand there from Taryn Shelley to poke the ball away. Subs for both sides. For the Jackets, Addison Gardner is going to replace Courtney Nelson. And for LC State, Souvenir is back in. And it looks like we have another new face heading to the court. Oh, no, it's Weaver who started the game. Seven minutes now to go in the second quarter. At the buzzer, the three-pointer's no good, and Patton's there to grab the wild rebound. Zahn looking for Kunkel underneath in the fast break, and instead it's Shelley. Gets her own board and lays it up and in. So Shelley with a good start to this one, 8 points and 3 rebounds. In her first 10 minutes of action. And that leads all players. Check that, she's now up to 10 points with that basket. Mid-range jumper that time from Johnson won't go. Second chance opportunity, and the long three is good off the hand of Edmiston.
You know, Addison Gardner did a nice job crashing the boards on that, but she was really the only yellow jacket down there, so it was pretty easy for LC State to, you know, go and track that ball down. And you know, that's what happens when you allow second chance shots. It's higher percentage to score in that possession.
And right on cue, here's another one. Jackets unable to secure that loose ball rebound, and the Warriors will have another look from mid-range. That time no good, and Gardner pulls down the rebound. Now Patton will slow it down a little bit. From the corner, it's Gardner. That one is way short, and Shelley fighting for the rebound against Sikora. But the latter comes down with it. A little bit of a feel of some chaos right now as Shelley blocks that shot. Zahn gonna take it herself, and she had Patton, but thinking maybe I could just go up strong for the layup. Instead, the Jackets turn it over.
LC State is so long. I mean, you know, they are all, their guards, their posts, they are just long bodies, and MSUB is really struggling trying to pass the ball around the perimeter and getting it inside because they're getting their passes deflected. And so I think it's going to be just really crucial for them to go back to the basics of faking a pass to make a pass to reduce those turnovers.
Under 5 minutes to go now before halftime. Tiani Boyce back into the game along with Callie Gulick for the Yellow Jackets.
We saw a couple of nice offensive rebounds earlier from Callie, so hopefully she can get back in the game and get a few more second chance shots for MSUB.
Nice take underneath from Johnson there. She draws the foul and will have a chance for the three-point play. Oh, nice start for Johnson. She's up to 8 points now. Make it 9 with the free throw, so she leads the Warriors in scoring early. She's been a problem for the Jackets underneath as Burlage back in there as well. Gulick, a short jumper. Not sure if she got a piece of that, but Burlage able to come down with the rebound. 22-19, LC State now in the lead as they turn the ball over. Courtney Nelson's going to check in and give Skylar a break. See the full court press now from LC State. They're not letting up there. Zahn running the point. She's out there with Nelson, Boyce, Kunkel, and Gardner. 3:40 to go in the second quarter, and an errant pass that time. Broyles fresh into the game for LC State. And ends up with the ball in her hands. Now the Warriors trying to build on a 3-point lead, 22-19. Johnson instead will have a nice drive to the layup, the easy layup that
She has a
time.
nice little right hand on that left side. Even going off of the wrong foot there, kind of, you know, to keep the ball away from the defender. And it's a nice little move that she has that you don't often see.
And a tough giveaway that time for the Jackets. Kevin wasn't going to take a timeout. You wonder if maybe the pace of play now starting to show a little bit as we near halftime, and that time the Jackets just out-hustled a little bit, gave the ball away for an easy layup. So 26-19, largest lead of the game now for LC State, as MSUB will take 30 seconds. Talk things over, 2:54 to go. Johnson now leads all players with 11 points. Shelley's got 10. Well, Jean Ann, after starting the game 3 for 13 in shooting, Lewis Clark State now overall shooting 36.7%, which is not where you'd love it to be, but if you factor in that 3 for 13 start, they've really found their stride offensively.
Yeah, they've definitely got hot, and so I think that it's going to be important for MSUB to kind of, you know, slow them down, just make them think about their shots or take their second best shot instead of, you know, giving them their first option.
All right, 2:40 left until the teams will head to the locker rooms. See what MSUB can do in that time. Another turnover. LC State with that pesky physical defense, and it's working real well for them. Nice hand there from Carrie Ann Kunkel, making her MSUB debut. MSUB needs a bucket. Looking for Shelley underneath. Couldn't find her. Now Kunkel with a good look from short range and just a little strong that time. Farmer going to get whistled for the foul that time. Gardner will replace Courtney Nelson for the Yellow Jackets. And back into the game for LC State is home, and Edmiston's coming as well. We'll take a quick break at halftime, and then we'll have an interview with Yellow Jacket Athletic Director Krista Montague to sort of give an update. This is a big day for MSUB, the first contest in nearly a year. So good to see the Yellow Jackets back on the court. Kunkel thought she was fouled, and the whistles come. A lot of contact that time. She'll head to the free throw line.
Number 2, Rachel Schroeder. Carrie Ann Kunkel at the line, shooting 2.
Kunkel, a nice presence so far, Jean Ann. She leads the Yellow Jackets with 4 rebounds so far in this game.
And she's there to break that little drought for MSUB to, you know, hopefully get their offense sparked a little bit.
It would be nice to see the Jackets finish this last minute 36 on the front foot. Get some momentum heading into the locker room. 26-21, LC State in command. Burlidge with Kunkel on her. She's going to take her on, backing her down. Nice defense that time. Shelley was there to help. And the offensive rebound for Edmiston in the putback makes it a 7-point ball game. Under a minute to go now in Alterowitz gym. Ten to shoot now. Zon's going to have to find somebody or take it herself. Boyce looking to find a shot off the left leg there. Went up with the left hand, no good. And LC State now coming back the other way. Long three, try that time for Schroeder, and it won't go. Muehlhausen coming back in for LC State, and Skylar Patton in for the Jackets. Shot clock's off, 23.7 seconds left in the second quarter. And still the Warriors in the full press here. We'll see if MSUB tries to hold for a shot, but Zahn says, why do that when Terrence Shelley's wide open, but couldn't connect. 10 seconds to go. Should be the last possession of the quarter. Underneath to Burlage, she loses control, and now the Jackets may have a chance to get a shot off. 2.7 seconds. They're going to have to hurry, and it's going to be something from long range. Kunkel to Patton, and instead they'll just dribble it out. So we head to halftime. 28-21 is your score. LC State with 9 games under its belt so far this season, and they've got a 7-point lead at halftime. Well, we'll take a quick break, and then we're going to have an interview with Athletic Director Krista Montague. Then we'll come back and recap the first half for you. You're tuned into MSUB Women's Basketball live on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. All right, well, we're back here at Alterowitz Gym at halftime, and Krista, you and I were just talking, and the Yellow Jackets look pretty good. I mean, you got to consider it's been so long since they've played. They haven't played a game yet this year, and they're in this one. They're fighting hard, and they look pretty good so far.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. I have to agree with you. I wasn't really sure what to expect today since, as you said, they haven't played for so long, but man, they're hanging in there. LC State is a great program year in and year out, so I'm, really proud of our ladies tonight.
And before we get to our interview, you got a comment, their head coach, one of your former coaches.
Yes.
That's kind of an exciting thing. I know you saw him yesterday during Shooter, and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Coach Brian Orr, the head coach for LC State, was the assistant coach here at MSUB back in 98, 99, my junior and senior year. And the year we did make it to the Elite Eight, NCAA Division II Elite Eight, so it's really fun to see him. I loved him as a coach. He was great, and I know he's doing a great job with this program. So it's always fun to reconnect with coaches that you've had throughout your career. So
absolutely. Well, we're glad to be back in this building, and boy, what a year it has been. Just everything that has gone on, but today is a day where we can sort of sit here and just think, you know, we're playing again, and that so much has gone into this, so much hard work by you and your staff. Talk about what it means to be playing right now.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of rejuvenating, honestly. You know, it's obviously been a very difficult 11 months, essentially, really, since the pandemic hit. But you know, I think we've done a nice job making the decisions we've had to make. Of course, those were not made in silos. There's a lot of people, and it really took a village to kind of work through this, and as we continue to work through that. So it's really a lot of fun just to see the students out there competing again in a safe way. And I'm really proud of the work we've done, because I think we've done it the right way, and we've done it the safe way. And we're going to learn things as we go. I'm sure we'll debrief after this weekend, and we'll learn things we need to tweak, and you know, and it'll help all of our sports to hopefully get back out competing.
Yeah, that's right. The playbook for competing during a pandemic is being written right now. You don't have anything to look back on and think, well, this is how we did it last time. There was no last time. This is, you know, a lot of uncertainty. Just talk about what that's been like to kind of navigate through and get to this point where we're playing again.
Yeah, I just, you know, obviously it was really difficult, and it continues to have challenges, but I think at the end of the day, like I said, we've made right decisions through all of this, and we're proud of that. And I think our student athletes have been resilient, and their character has shown through, and they've continued to, you know, be compliant with the things we've asked them to do. And I know that that's difficult sometimes, but I think better days are ahead, and, you know, we're just going to take it one day at a time. And this is just the beginning, hopefully, of getting, like I said, all of our teams back out on the playing field, whatever that is.
That's right. And of course, testing and all the protocol that goes along with being able to play, there's so much that is required of the students and the staff, so much extra that they already have on their plates with being athletes. But it really has been a team effort. There's been a lot of people who have been really involved in this.
Absolutely, and I hope that they're watching tonight, because we wouldn't be here without them. And I do want to take a minute just to thank a few people that have helped us. We have a MSUB Incident Command team here that has been helping us since day one. And that's Dave Nordell and Kurt Tonjes and Darla Tyler McSherry have been leading that group and just been really helpful. We would not be here playing tonight without those three. And so I definitely want to give them a shout out and thank them for all of their help. We also have a partnership with Flex Family Health, and that has allowed us to do some testing that has kind of accelerated our competition and practice plans. So we really appreciate Cole Whitmoyer and Flex Family for their help. And then right here, we're really proud we announced this week that on our own campus, we're going to have a testing lab right here on our own campus. And that's going to be run by David Butler and Cody Walters. They're going to be our lab techs, and I want to thank them too, because, you know, a lot of people are kind of putting their real jobs aside to help us, you know, get back out there and just to help the university to move forward. So I definitely want to thank all of those people. And of course, our own athletic staff, in particular Andrew Bonner and Lindsay Sullivan, have been a big help on the Incident Command team. And then our new chancellor, Stephanie Hickswa, has been a big help too. She hasn't been here very long, but she's been very supportive, and she knows the importance that this is for our student athletes. So I just want to thank everybody that's been involved. It has taken a village, that's for sure.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it on our own, and we continue to need the support. And, you know, unable to have events, the scholarship dinner auction you couldn't have in person this year, but we've really continued to rely on the corporate partners and the donors, and just want to reiterate, couldn't do it without them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For the most part, our support, people that normally support us financially, have not stepped away. You know, I mean, there is some revenue lost, obviously, with our events and ticket sales and things like that, but this community is real supportive of our program, and definitely a shout out and a thank you to them too, because there's a lot of people that help make us run, support scholarships, support operations, whatever it is. So we want to thank them too.
Yeah. All right, well, we're getting ready for a busy spring. Basketball just to start, but we've got not only our spring sports going, but soccer's going to play, men's and women's soccer. Volleyball is going to compete as well, so it's going to be a busy spring, and we're just glad these athletes will have a chance to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank you too for doing a great job up here on the web stream. It's got to feel good to get back, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's good to be back at the seat. It's been far too long, but good to be calling some live action. So, well, thank you, Krista, for your time and for your leadership. Really, these athletes wouldn't have the chance to do this without your leadership and everything you've done. I've seen your work day in and day out. I know it's been far from easy. So this is just a nice, result of being able to get things up and running. So thank you. And Krista Montague, our athletic director. And we'll take a quick break and be back with some first half stats for you in just a minute.
Nice.
And the teams heading back out of the locker rooms to warm up for the second half. Well, we'll look at some first half numbers for you. Lewis Clark State made 12 of 33 shots from the field. That's 36.4%. MSUB, meanwhile, just 8 of 27 for 29.6%. And that included a 1 for 8 mark from three-point range for the Jackets. Neither team shooting particularly well. The Warriors were 3 for 10 from the arc. So I'm sure both teams will like it if some more shots will fall. Kind of an interesting line in the rebounding. Dead even at 19 apiece there. And a half that featured 4 lead changes. And 10 giveaways by the Yellow Jackets. That's something that they'll want to shore up during the second half. Well, Jean Ann, thoughts on the first 20 minutes of action and maybe take yourself inside that locker room? You've heard that halftime speech over 100 times. What was said in there?
Yeah, I think it's really big for teams to make adjustments at halftime. It's a great time to reflect on what happened in the first half, continue to do what's working, and fix what's not. And so I think that right now MSUB just has to acknowledge the fact that this is their first game. There are going to be some bumps in the road. There are going to be a lot of things to work on, and so they need to kind of just take it one step at a time. But, I mean, honestly, I think that they're playing really well. They're making LC miss shots that they probably normally would make. Like you talked about, they came out a little cold at the beginning, and now they're starting to heat up. So I'm sure that was a topic of discussion in the locker room at halftime for MSUB to, lock down on defense and not give them, you know, the shots that they want, and then, to stop turning the ball over. I think right now that's MSUB's biggest handicap. They're not able to get into the groove in their offense because they've had a lot of turnovers this game. And so I think if they take care of the ball and they keep pounding it inside and get hot from the three-point line, this game can change very quickly.
Yeah, we'll see if the offense heats up for both teams, not having the shooting half that they wanted in the first. So we'll see if the shots start falling a little bit, and then we'll keep our eyes on the Yellow Jackets' conditioning. Not that they're out of shape by any means physically, but just there's a difference between being in running shape and being in game shape. You just can't simulate what it's like, the physical contact combined with the up and down. You can run as many suicides as you want, but you're not going to be ready for this until you play.
Right, and I mean, MSUB, they, from Thanksgiving until 3 weeks ago, were home and not together as a team, and I'm sure a lot of them got in the gym, got some physical activity and tried to stay in shape, but like you said, they're not playing in a game. They're not playing that 5-on-5 basketball with the physicality of it. And, there have been times when these guys have had to go up and down the court without a whistle for a few minutes. And so it's just different, and it's different in shape than they're normally used to. And, normally by this time they've had a lot of games under their belt and they know what it feels like. And that's just not the case this year. And so they definitely had to come back after Christmas and regroup a little bit, but they also were in small groups and not able to practice as a whole team. So, there's a lot of obstacles that I'm sure both teams have had to face, but like we talked about from the start, everybody's just happy that we're even able to play today.
Yeah, I was talking with assistant coach Alicia Breen earlier this week, and she's talking about being ready for the game, and I was saying to her, boy, this would be go time. This would be the second half of GNAC play. You're in the hunt for the conference tournament. You're really hopefully hitting your stride as a team. You've played 15 or 16 games by now. It's January 29th. You're starting to figure out if you'll be playing for a conference title, and instead you're making your season debut. So definitely an interesting year, but like you said, at least we have basketball to bring in.
Right, and I'm sure that they're taking away a lot of different things that they haven't, in previous years. They've probably been able to slow things down and work on the little things, the small things that they normally, kind of get overlooked because they are just in the midst of their season. And so, these guys haven't been on the road as much as they normally are, and, they've been able to be home, get to know each other, off the court probably really well, and so I'm sure that they're taking a lot of things for granted, or they're not taking a lot of things for granted that we used to.
Well, the Jackets open the second half with a turnover, and Burlage just unable to get her first shot attempt to go. Gardner with a decent look, but they're going to say she stepped on the sideline there. Danielle Zahn gonna come in for Courtney Nelson. So it was the same starters for MSUB. Now it's Patton, Zahn, Shelley, Kunkel, and Gardner. And it's the same five for LC State: Edmiston, Johnson, Burlage, Souvenir, and Farmer. Just underway in the third quarter, and an easy get that time for Burlage. Slow half for the Warriors' leading scorer. She came in averaging 17, just 2 points for her, however, in the opening 20 minutes of play. We'll see if she gets it going.
Yeah, I was surprised on that last possession that she didn't shoot that, because AJ has a very nice three-point shot, and especially down in that corner, we kind of call that our home here at MSUB, is shooting threes in the corner, and so I definitely think that if she gets the ball in that spot next time, she won't pass that shot up.
Another offensive rebound and layup for Taryn Shelley. She's got a dozen. Well, Shelley was looking around for a pass and realized she was pretty wide open, but the jumper just wouldn't go that time. 30-23 now your score. LC State still in command. Nice take underneath. Souvenir gets the hoop and the foul is called.
Yeah, that was a late whistle, but I think it was a good call. There was a lot of contact going up on that shot, and I was kind of wondering if the official was waiting to see if the ball went in to determine whether she thought there was enough contact to affect the shot, but that ball went in and her whistle still went off, so I think she realized, you know, the amount of physicality on that play.
Yeah, and Souvenir had to get creative there. There were a lot of long arms up in front of her, Shelley's included, but still managed to find a way to get that layup to go. Her free throw just a little short, and Shannon Rainey, fresh into the game, grabs the rebound. Vaughn's pass deflected, wild loose ball. Who's going to end up with it? I think it'll go MSUB's way.
I think LC was worried about an over and back call there, but I think that they would have been okay because it was a deflected pass and they didn't actually have possession in the backcourt. But you like to see the hustle there just in case, but nonetheless, MSUB's ball.
Zahn able to find Rainey underneath. Her shot deflected out of bounds, so the Jackets will keep it. They've got 7 left to shoot. So we'll see if they can draw something up, maybe go to Shelley underneath. Instead, it's Zahn outside. She's going to have to give it up quick. And Rainey stepped out of bounds. It was going to be a tough get for the Jackets anyway. Only 4 seconds left on the shot clock, but instead another turnover. .13th giveaway of the game for the Yellow Jackets. Usually a department, Jean-Ann, that this team, this program is pretty solid in ball protection, and that's something I know you guys have always prided yourselves on. And again, it's the first game of the year. It's just going to be some bumps along the way, but definitely after this game, with 13 already, that'll be an area they look at to improve on.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be, taking that deep breath and getting those jitters out. I would not be surprised if tomorrow there definitely are not this many turnovers.
3 that time just rattles out, and Shelley's got another rebound. Zahn tries the no-look pass, but just a touch out of sync with Kunkel. Would have been a good opportunity for a layup, but those two just missing the connection there. Johnson at the top of the key gives it up. Now Souvenir tries to find Edmiston on the cut, and Zahn kicks the ball away. 6:24 to go. Now in the third quarter, 32-23 is the Warriors' advantage. They're up by the largest amount they have been so far in this game. Johnson working against Shelley. A lot of contact and no whistle. Boy, Shelley sent Johnson to the hardwood. But no foul called. And you just see the Jackets, maybe they need to slow it down a bit, but they're just maybe getting ahead of themselves a little bit on the offensive end. Another turnover.
Right, they're coming down. They have an advantage of a 5-on-4 matchup, and they just throw the ball right out of bounds. So that's definitely something that they're going to need to work on, because that's a situation that they're going to need to take advantage of.
Fouls number 34,
Rainey whistled for the blocking foul that time. And Deani Boyce and Callie Gulick will check back in, give Taryn Shelley and Shannon Rainey a break. Still 32-23 Lewis Clark State. Burlage from the top of the arc connects on the three-pointer. And she's got 5 points in the period alone, 7 overall in the game. Dawn barely getting it across in time. Kunkel's pass knocked away, but they're going to say Gulick was fouled that time by Abby Farmer.
Props to Lewis and Clark State for, that full court pressure. Like you said, MSUB got the ball across just in time. So that's 10 seconds off of your shot clock that you are not able to use in your offense. You're instead using that to get the ball across half court. So now MSUB only has 20 seconds to actually run their offense. And, that's valuable time. And so I think that might also be a little bit why they're struggling to get into the groove of things offensively.
That's right, and we saw the Jackets exploit that a little bit. They were able to break the press early in the first quarter, got Shelley a couple layups. So if they could get back to doing that, that's one way to combat it. But right now, it's working for the Warriors. They lead 35-23. Boyce working underneath. Edmiston with their arms up around her. Now Gulick will try the short jumper. No good, gets her own board, and the putback deflected out of bounds off the Yellow Jackets. That'll take us to our media timeout here in the third quarter. 4:43 left, 35-23, Lewis Clark State. Back in action, 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 35-23 your score, LC State in the lead. And Burlage, I thought maybe she traveled. Instead, they're going to call a foul there on Deani Boyce.
Foul number 30, Deani Boyce.
It's the fourth team foul for the Yellow Jackets, make it the third of the period. Quick underneath play, and Burlage can't get it to go this time. Callie Gulick fighting for the rebound, and she is fouled.
Foul number 23.
Good strong presence there from Callie Gulick, another player who got some experience last year as a true freshman and expected to really be a big part of this team moving forward.
Yeah, what's really nice about Callie is she is super long, and so she's a post presence, but she has a very nice mid-range jumper, and so she can just be deadly if you get her in that short corner at that elbow. And so she's really fun to play with in a zone offense, and like we've seen on the board, you know, she's been able to just snag a couple rebounds, which MSUB needs right now.
More good physical play underneath, this time from Deani Boyce, a true freshman this season, and battling for a couple of offensive rebounds there and hitting the deck hard and helping the Yellow Jackets retain possession. Taryn Shelley back into the game, along with Skylar Patton. Boyce will gather momentum and drive, or layup knocked away. Here's Edmiston on the other end. Now finds herself in a double team, and Shelley stuffs that shot right back to the floor. Souvenir with the left hand, that won't go, and there's Deani Boyce again, hustling for another hard-fought rebound. Well, that's a good little sequence for Deani Boyce there, Jean Ann. You can see how hard she works underneath.
Yeah, it really is, and you know, you're going to be able to see her grow as she grows through this program, and you know, she'll be able to earn that offensive rebound and go right back up strong, you know, to make that worth it. But yeah, very nice to see her get on the glass and get those hustle plays.
Danielle Zahn back in,
Nice.
Finds Shelley underneath, and yeah, as you were saying, a nice find there.
Danny does a very nice job as a point guard to find who is open, and you know, sitting up here in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, the lob right there to Taryn is wide open, and she doesn't even look like that she's even looking in that vicinity, and yet she still finds the open person. And so very good quality to have as a point guard. You know, if I'm surprised that she saw it, then obviously the defense is too. And so definitely hard to guard, and getting the ball where it needs to go is what a point guard's job is.
Long shot that time, and Edmiston connects from downtown. Well, that makes it 38-24 now, a 14-point lead for LC State as we move under the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter. Patton's got a open look from the wing, and Skylar connects, her first three-pointer of the night. And the Yellow Jackets looking to get something going. That's just their second three made of the game.
Earlier when we were talking about how it's a little out of character to turn the ball over so many times, I think this is the fewest amount of three-pointers I've ever seen taken in an MSUB women's basketball game. And I mean, I obviously liked to shoot threes, but I mean, when I came into this program, we were a good outside shooting team, and I think that this team is too, as there's another one there from Deani Boyce. But you obviously want to utilize your big players inside, but I definitely am just surprised at the few amount of shots from the perimeter.
Yeah, we'll see if that gives the Yellow Jackets a little confidence, that being those back-to-back makes from the arc. We'll see if they let it fly. It's done well to help chip into the deficit. Now down to 10 points, 40-30, with a minute 23 left to go in the third quarter. Johnson from the corner at the buzzer of the shot clock.
Good defensive possession there for MSUB, utilizing the whole shot clock and forcing a post player to shoot a corner three, and ultimately getting the defensive rebound.
Yeah, that's the first time tonight that we've seen LC State's shot clock expire. Patton the other way, takes it, and fouled on her way to the basket. Foul is called on Johnson. Addison Gardner going to check back in for Carrie Ann Kunkel. No one really in foul trouble in this game. Shelley's got 2 for the Jackets, and that's it. Johnson Burlage and Farmer have 2 apiece for LC State. So nothing to worry about on that front as we near the 4th quarter. Shelley to take it out. To shoot now. Zahn, a good find underneath to Taryn Shelley for the bucket. Well, Danny thought for a second about letting it fly. Instead, a nice find to Taryn Shelley for the easy layup. Down to 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Burlage on the drive against Boyce. Ooh. And that's going to be a travel. Yeah, she pushed into Boyce there with the arm. I thought maybe an offensive foul would be called. Instead, she's called for steps. Nice job there from Deani holding her own underneath against the top scorer for the Warriors.
Absolutely. That is phenomenal defense for a true freshman right there. Moving her feet, keeping her hands straight up in the air, not leaning her body into her. You know, oftentimes you see younger players bringing those hands down or trying to body up that other player. And so, yeah, very nice defense there by Deani Boyce.
And a good bucket on the other end from Danny Zahn. And now, just like that, the Jackets are within 6. 3 seconds left. Underneath, Johnson gets the last second shot up, but it won't go. So, boy, a good momentum swing there for the Yellow Jackets to finish out the 3rd quarter. Well, 10 minutes left. This has been an exciting game. The Jackets now trail just 40-34, their opening game of the season. And well, they didn't have the best start to the 3rd quarter, but boy, Jean-Ann, they're going to be happy with the way they finished that one out.
Yeah, definitely a lot of hustle there, a lot of heart. You kind of could just tell that something clicked all of a sudden. They were like, hey, we can do this. Let's kind of put it into gear here, and they did, and they came back, and so hopefully that they can continue that into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, good for MSUB to get back into a game that they trailed by as much as 14 points there. As we look at some totals, Johnson for LC State leads her team with 13 points. Burlage came alive a little bit. She had 5 in the quarter. She's up to 7, and then Edmiston has 8. And really the starting 5 for LC State playing the majority of the minutes, 4 of them up over 20 minutes. Yellow Jackets a little bit more of a balanced lineup. Minute-wise, playing time-wise, Shelley leading all players with 15 points. She's also got 6 rebounds.
Yeah, Taryn Shelley led MSUB last year in double-doubles, and I would expect nothing less than in 50% of the games that they get to play this year that she has a double-double again. You know, she's hard to guard, and she's fun to play with. And so it's too bad that they don't get a full season under their belts, because I think that she definitely could have broke some records here at MSUB.
All right, here we go. 4th quarter just underway. Jackets trail by 6, 40-34. LC State entering this game 6-3 on the year, and a big bucket that time. It's home with the 3-pointer. So the Warriors start the final period with a statement. Patton finds Shelley underneath, gets her own rebound and puts it in. So Shelley maybe thought could have been a foul called. Instead, she gets the O-board and the layup. Johnson from just inside the arc, and she's good there. She's up to 15 points now with that bucket. It's Zahn, Boyce, Gardner, Patton, and Shelley on the floor. I don't know if we've seen this exact combo of Yellow Jackets yet tonight. Shelley with the turnaround, and she's off the mark. Shannon Rainey going to check in along with Carrie Ann Kunkel. And Johnson will now get a break for LC State. Selman checking back in. 45-36, lead back up to 9 points for the Warriors. Drive that time from Souvenir, and that's a good take to extend the advantage back up over double digits. Zahn will try the 3 in transition, won't go, but Addison Gardner there to grab the offensive rebound. Patton had it stripped from behind, but able to corral it. And now Gardner was open on the wing. She'll try the 3, and it's a little short.
Little chaotic there for MSUB, but you know, ultimately finding AJ open. A little out of system shot there, but definitely finding their way on the perimeter.
I think Shannon Rainey going to get called on the block this time. Schroeder with the strong take, and I got the wind knocked out of her just a tiny bit. She's gathering herself before she goes to the line, and Courtney Nelson, meanwhile, checking in for MSUB, the true freshman. She got the start tonight. Schroeder's first try off the mark. Looking for her first point of the night. And she misses a pair. Nice job by Courtney Nelson to fight for that rebound. Patton from the wing. That one rattles out. But she's able to end up with the rebound. So
Yeah.
no Burlage and no Johnson on the floor right now for LC State. This is a good chance for the Jackets.
Nice turnaround jumper there by Carrie Ann. Getting some more momentum there to bring the Yellow Jackets within 9.
Yeah, 47-38 now your score with 7:20 to go in the game. Holm hit the 3 to start this quarter, but couldn't connect that time. Nelson finds an open Skylar Patton from the other wing, and that one won't go. Now Gardner will try a 3. And another offensive rebound. Well, they're listening to you, Jean Ann. More 3-pointers are going up. And Carrie Ann Kunkel now with back-to-back buckets. Oh, that'll push LC State coach Brian Orr to take a timeout. Well, you get that feeling every time tonight that the game starts to feel like it's slipping away. Well, the Jackets get right back into it. They were down 14 in the third, cut it to 6. They were down 11 points just a moment ago, and now Carrie Ann Kunkel with 4 straight to make it a 7-point game.
Yeah, you know, and props to MSUB. They're crashing the boards really hard. You've seen, you know, a few players just bat that ball out of there to try to give it a little bit more hope to get back in the hands of one of their teammates, and it has, and it's led to second and third chance shots, which has just been, you know, the reason why that we've been able to go on this little run again.
Well, 6:46 to go. It's a position where, you know, the game's far from out of reach. You're only down 7, but you know you got to play good defense here. You can't give them any open looks, especially from the arc. And you see a player like Holm come in. She hasn't really done anything all game, and then to start the quarter, she hits a 3. So all of a sudden, maybe that makes you have a little cause for worry, because it hasn't been Burlage's night by her standards. I mean, still 7 points, but coming in averaging 17. Johnson with 15, so she's doing what she normally does, but you got to be careful here of some of those perimeter threats if you're MSUB. .646 to go. Jackets trail 47-40. And it's going to be Selman to take it out for LC State. And Souvenir around the point. Good defense there from Courtney Nelson taking on Broyles. And now 6 to shoot for the Warriors. Gonna have to get a shot up. Offensive foul. Courtney Nelson with the nice defense, and then she draws the charge.
It's nice to see another 14 out there taking a charge. You don't see that a lot, and I really admire a player that's willing to sacrifice their body for their teammate, because that's what it is. You know, that was not her player that she took that charge on. She was in some solid help defense, and now we see 4 starters from Lewis and Clark checking in at the table. So you can feel that momentum changing in the building.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier how many minutes the starting lineup was getting for LC State, but really an extended break into the deep fourth quarter here. But now you see sort of maybe that was part of the plan all along, is give them some rest and then finish this game strong with 5:45 to go. You're going to have 4 of those starters come back in at the next dead ball. Nice defense again from the Yellow Jackets to create another turnover, but you got to capitalize. It's one thing to get the turnovers on the other end, but unable to turn Nelson's charge that she took into any points, and once again they give the ball away. So turnovers are only as good as the points that you get off them, I suppose. Patton bringing it up. Gardner from the wing lets it fly and just off the mark. AJ slapping her hands. Boy, she's been close a lot tonight, but hasn't quite found it. 1 for 5 from the arc from AJ. Souvenir again, the shot clock winding down. Broyles with 3 to shoot, lets it go, and Jackets doing a good job to run the shot clock down. Another stop, and Deani Boyce with a nice finish off the glass. That cuts it to a 5-point deficit. Well, we had about a 3-minute lull there where neither team could score, and now LC State's going to call timeout to, in large part, to get their starters back on the floor with 4:21 left to go. But once again, Jean-Ann, turnover after turnover from MSUB, but you look at the scoreboard and it's a 5-point game. They're in it. Getting out of crunch time here at Alterowitz Gym, and well, the only thing better than having a basketball game finally is to have a good, exciting one. This is going to be a good finish. I'm sure it's not as clean a game as either of these coaches would have loved to see, but with 4:20 left to go, we got a 5-point ball game. Burlage underneath, draws the contact there. Fouled on her way up, she'll shoot 2. It's going to be Courtney Nelson. Whistled that time. Nelson, Kunkel, Boyce, Shelley, and Zahn on the court for the Jackets. And it's a starting lineup for LC State: Edmiston, Johnson, Burlage, Souvenir, and Farmer. Burlage good on the first, and she knocks down a pair. So 7-point game, 49-42. And Zahn turns it over right at midcourt. Was on her way to breaking that press, but that last pass just couldn't quite get over Burlage's long arms. Now LC State with a chance for a little run coming out of the timeout. Burlage from just behind the foul line, off the mark, and Courtney Nelson takes down the rebound. Nelson, a nice strong take, and just a little bit too much off the glass. I think it deflected out off LC State, so it'll be jacket ball.
Courtney Nelson with 10 rebounds tonight. She hasn't shown anything offensively quite yet, but for her size, coming in as a two guard and getting 10 rebounds is very impressive. So to be one of those players that could potentially be getting double-doubles is a very big asset for MSUB.
Yeah, kind of a sneaky 10 rebounds there. She's been working hard underneath and not as prominent as Shelley on the glass, but tonight she's just found a way to battle for some of those tough boards. Shelley, meanwhile, was fouled going up for a layup. Missed her first free throw, so she'll have a chance here to cut it to 6. And she's able to rattle it home. Skylar Patton will check back into the game. 3:26 now to go, 49-43 your score. LC State still in front. It's Farmer bringing the ball up. And she gets tied up with Shelley. And a foul will be called on Taryn. That'll be Shelley's third. Farmer thought about it, but now she'll give it up. Six to shoot now. It's Edmiston from the left corner. Too strong, and Kunkel, I believe, was fouled. No, they're just going to say ball out of bounds on the rebound attempt. Jackets still in it. They trail by just 6 points here with 2:53 to go. Nelson trying to get across. The press continues to be impressive from LC State, but this time the Jackets able to handle it. Patton looking underneath for Boyce. She's got it. The turnaround off the glass, no good, but she's fouled. This one's going to go against Edmiston. So Deani Boyce heading to the foul line for the first time tonight.
I think Deani thought she was farther under the basket than she was, because when she went to turn around, I think she actually put herself in kind of a more awkward position than if she would have just rather gone right back up from that pass. But good for her for drawing that foul and getting to the line.
And getting her own board off the missed rebound. Souvenir tried to go up with the left hand, no good. Another opportunity for the Jackets coming off a empty possession from LC State. Can they take advantage? Shelley has the ball knocked away. Good hustle play from Johnson there. If Shelley catches that, it's all but guaranteed that it's 2 points. Instead, Johnson worked hard to get underneath and knock it out of bounds.
Such a difficult job to take the ball out of bounds as Skylar Patton right there with Johnson guarding her. That is a very large height difference. I remember when I played, I hated taking the ball out of bounds when I wasn't able to see over the person guarding me because that's such a difficult pass and you can't move to get a better angle. And so props to her for being able to get the ball in bounds and where it needed to go, because that is a difficult job that I think a lot of people don't realize.
Trying the shot from the wing was Edmiston. There was 3 seconds left on the clock.
I think we have a double foul on the court. I think Courtney Nelson got fouled, and then when she fell, she took out the legs of an LC player, so it looks as though they're going to call a foul on both teams.
I think it
Oh,
was
just kidding, it was
23
on.
to 30. Yeah, Boyce and Burlage kind of got tangled up there
Okay.
on the far side. Yeah, that was an interesting. That's not one you see very much.
Right, and so you just go to the jump ball after that, which the possession arrow points towards MSUB.
Well, the Jackets still in it. Still a 6-point game, 49-43, a minute 40 to go. Patton looking for Boyce underneath. Gets her own board again. LC State being careful, I think, not to foul her there. And that allowed Diani to have a second chance at it. Now just a 4-point game. Minute 20 left. Burlage underneath against Boyce. Can't get it to go. Tipped out, and Farmer's got the rebound. New possession for the Warriors. It's Edmiston with Patton on her, and she draws the foul against Skylar. Now Taryn Shelley will check back in.
For Boyce. Number 11, Edmiston at the line, shooting 2.
Edmiston connects on the first. LC State having trouble from the line. Now just 4 out of 10 on the game, so they haven't gone much, but when they haven't been able to capitalize. The 1 for 2 there. Now the Jackets trail by 5 with 56 seconds to go. Need to get a bucket here.
Exactly, I was just about to say they need to look to score, get a quick bucket. You're down 5 and the shot clock's about to turn off.
And I think this also is going to be a situation where, you know, you're not really used to being in a spot where you're down by 5 with less than a minute to go. Just the urgency of that. Normally by now in a season, you've been in probably a lot of games where it has this kind of feel, and you kind of know tempo-wise what to do. You know when to foul. You know the urgency of needing to get a shot off early in the shot clock. But those are just the things when you haven't played yet that it kind of takes a second to jog your memory of realizing we're kind of in hustle mode here.
Exactly, and I've even heard, MSUB's coaches saying, get up, get up, get up, and MSUB's waiting for them at the three-point line, allowing them to walk the ball up the court. And so, like you say, just those game-like situations, getting up, forcing a turnover, just making Lewis and Clark speed up, so then you have another chance to be on offense.
All right, so the Warriors will take it out on the sideline. 44.8 to go. Jackets trail 50-45, and Patton will put the quick foul on to Souvenir.
Fouls number 2, Skylar Patton. Taking Souvenir at the line.
Shelley will check back in. Souvenir good on the first attempt. Second one a little short, and Kunkel grabs the board. Now MSUB will take a timeout. Well, what's a timeout like this like when you're down by 6? You know you need a quick bucket here, and you need a stop. You're probably gonna talk about fouling on purpose to stop the clock, but as a player, you got a hill to climb. It's definitely doable. You're down. It's a 2-possession game, but you really got to focus here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is completely doable. I think MSUB comes down and they either look for a quick bucket inside with Taryn, or a quick 3-point shot. To try to make this a 1-possession game. But yeah, either way, if you miss that, you're guarding whoever's right next to you, and you're getting up in their shorts, trying to get that steal. But if it's not immediate, then you're looking to foul. And same thing, if you have a made bucket, you're getting up, you're pressuring, and same kind of thing. Just I'm sure they're talking about who to foul, who has the worst free throw percentage. But ultimately, whoever has the ball, you need to foul them because we need to get the ball back in our hands.
Yeah, we just saw assistant coach Alicia Breen run over to a clipboard and look at a piece of paper. Gotta think she was looking at those free throw percentages, and she just went over to Skylar Patton and Danny Zahn to tell him who to foul. So here we go, 41.3 left on the clock. Got a whistle. And an off-ball foul called on Edmiston there. So that's kind of a break for the Jackets, because now Addison Gardner will get to shoot 2. So if she can convert, you get 2 points for free here, and you don't have to waste any time.
Right. Time did come off the clock, though, so I think that the officials are going to fix that, put it back up to where it needs to be, because that whistle was very quick, before the amount of time came off than should have.
So Gardner will step to the line. 42.2 seconds is what they arrive on. That's what's on the clock. Couple of big free throws, and AJ hits the first. And the second one, no good. Now will the Jackets foul here? They do late. It's Gardner who reaches in on Edmiston. So now a 5-point ball game after Gardner goes 1 for 2, 51-46.
Number 11, Edmiston at the line, shooting 2.
So for LC State, it's going to be a free throw game the rest of the way. It's kind of up to them, and they've not been good from the line tonight, just 5 for 12. But if they can convert down the stretch, as Edmiston hits the first, they should be able to see the game out. But the way they've shot from the line tonight certainly hasn't been one of their strengths. So Edmiston hits both, and Kevin Wooden will call one more timeout. 53-46. Well, no matter how this one ends up, Jean Ann, I think they're going to be real happy with how the team played, both coaches and players. Obviously there's a lot of areas to improve on, but all things considered, game 1 coming on January 29th, been a very good showing for the Jackets.
Yeah, you always want to win. You don't play college basketball if you're not competitive. So I think that's going to be, a little frustrating. But like you said, it's their first time out here, and it's finally their first look against people that they haven't played against, within their team. And so I think this is a really good eye-opening experience because, they've been exposed in ways that they haven't been in practice. And so it'll give them new things to work on and new things to improve on. And I definitely think that tomorrow will be a different story with how the game even just starts out. I definitely do not think it'll start out as slow as it did today.
Nice bucket there from Patton. And Nelson commits the foul. So that layup from Skylar helps MSUB keep pace, 53-48 now. Souvenir at the line, and her first is good. Well, as we have mentioned, the Warriors won't be thrilled with their free throw percentage, but they're hitting them when they count, as they've made 4 in a row here down the stretch, and that's helped keep this deficit for the Jackets at 7 points. 30 seconds to play. Jackets got to hurry. Kunkel tries the turnaround and just a little bit strong. Nelson dribbles it off her leg, but no, they're going to call a foul, I believe. It's going to go on Farmer.
Courtney Nelson at the line, shooting 2.
Well, Farmer was pretty partial to that call, was convinced it wasn't on her, but
I'm surprised they counted that as a shooting foul. It definitely, it was a great rebound by Courtney. But, you know, the fact that she's getting 2 out of it works out in the Yellow Jackets' favor.
Well, now the Jackets, they need the Warriors to miss some free throws, and they need, probably at this point, you're looking at trying to take some threes. I just don't know how many times you can get down and make layups and keep fouling. You probably need to start getting down and within 5-6 seconds and letting some threes fly and hope for the best. But 6-point game and the first one rattling out, so 21.1 seconds left, 55-49 your score. Edmiston's second is good, so that keeps it at a 7-point game. Nelson has to hurry now. And Kunkel with a decent look from the wing, no good. Patton with the board, 10 seconds to play. And Zahn's shot, no good. Burlage gets the rebound, and the Jackets probably not going to foul. They'll just dribble it out. So that'll do it. Lewis Clark State wins it over MSUB 56-49, and a hard-fought win for the Warriors. They improved to 7-3, so they're still off to a good start. You're not going to see the handshake. I just realized I was waiting for the players, and you're just not going to see it. So
nice little wave of good game, and see you tomorrow.
Tip of the cap, and see you tomorrow. So the Yellow Jackets come up on the losing end, but a good performance overall, and in the end, a narrow 7-point victory, but a lot to be happy with, Jean-Ann.
Yeah, you know, and like you said, only 7 points, but surprisingly, you know, this is considerably a low-scoring game in this gym. And so, like I said, I definitely think that tomorrow both teams are going to come out a lot hotter than they did tonight with that. I think that slow start, you know, in both quarters. Even in the third quarter, MSUB got hot really late in that, but, you know, it just took a while for everybody to get going. And so I think that, you know, LC State traveling here, you know, that's a long journey, finally got their legs under them. MSUB, this is their first game ever, so, you know, kind of getting those nerves and jitters out. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We're going to have head coach Kevin Wooden come up and give us some thoughts. Final score from Alterowitz Gym, Lewis Clark State 56, MSU Billings 49. We'll be back in just a moment on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. All right, we're back on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. Final score, Lewis Clark State 56, MSU Billings 49. And, well, Coach, such an odd year, and you finally get to have a game under your belt. What are your thoughts on a good, hard-fought game for your team?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you, Evan, and actually just all of our MSUB staff, that including our Chancellor, Krista, I know Incident Command, and then all of the athletic staff that worked so hard to kind of make maybe a dream become a reality, and it was nice to get to play. So I thank everybody for that. I thought we played better as the game went on. Some of our younger players really stepped up, and just everybody had their moments. We were just very uptight. We had a hard time settling in. I know part of it's you just hadn't played in so long, etc. there, but and then their zone and their pressure really bothered us. We especially offensively, so we need to be a little bit more poised there. But I thought we made a couple runs in the second half with lineups that we have absolutely not worked with at all, and I thought, just for example, Courtney Nelson and Deani Boyce came off the bench there in the second half and helped us as freshmen, and I really like our team. It's tough a couple days ago to lose Shayla, really our second most experienced player. It's no excuses there, but Shayla's a very mature type player. She can shoot the three. She doesn't get rattled. We could have used her poise, a lot tonight, but give them credit. They made more plays than us.
Yeah, Deani Boyce didn't look like a freshman tonight, the way she was physical under the basket and kept fighting. Even if she missed a shot, she'd go and get that rebound, and she played some great defense as well.
Yeah, and how about that left hook thing, huh?
Yeah,
that stuff. I'd like to say taught her that, but I didn't. That was really a cool move, and she's done that in practice a few times, so it wasn't lucky. But no, she gave us a good spark, and I'm proud of our players. We talked about this and all the emotions we'd have, etc. And I think for them it was even more than they could have imagined. We just really were having a hard time settling in. But I give our assistant coaches Alicia and Sven did a nice job, and they kept getting them better and better. And I thought Alicia, she called some good defensive sets in the second half. I thought our defense was really good there for a while, and we started to get on the glass. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's really you don't play for 330 days, and then you play twice in 16 to 17 hours. So that'll be a new one too. But hopefully we'll play better. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, and maybe one more point of emphasis. I mean, this is a game you trailed by 14 points, and then you look up and you're only down 6. And then you trailed by 11 in the fourth quarter. You look up, you're only down 5. So it could have gotten away from you at a couple different points. But what does it say about these players that they kept battling back and they didn't let it slip away?
Yeah, I think that shows a lot of character. I think we have a nice group that has worked hard to become closer off the court, and I think that's going to pay off. And I definitely felt, we were playing really hard there at the end, and any mistakes we made were out of just sheer intensity, and we were attacking finally. In the first half, we were trying to play hard, but we were really tentative, and we kept getting better. So, heck, we got to play a game, so we're excited about that. Congrats to LC State. I really thank Coach Orr and for coming over here and getting these 2 games, and he has a really good team. But I think we'll show up tomorrow and we'll be ready to fight.
All right, there's Yellow Jacket head coach Kevin Wooden. Once again, final score from Alterowitz Gym, 56-49 LC State. We'll be right back here at Alterowitz tomorrow, 2 p.m. tip-off. Coach, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Evan.
All right, take care. That'll do it for us tonight on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. It was so great to be here and bringing the game to you, and we'll be back with you in less than 24 hours. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.